Broken starts, everything will fall apart. Let's rewind. Growing up, who were your idols? In the news about Guanarajo, scared well-being. Now I'm not believing. Why was I cursed like this? Why is life such a trip? It's all a cloud of mist, depressed and dissed. Don't leave us, you will be missed dearly from all the boys and girls. Everyone in this lonely world, losing time, losing faith, harming self, alarming self, dreading eyes and bleeding tongues. Revive and start anew, the vice eating crumbs. Will I be one who shoots up at school? Am I those abandoned kids on the news? What will I do? How will I survive? All I want to do is thrive. Hence filled with thoughts, only death reserved the slot in my near future. Sewing up sutures, nowhere left to go. Crawl to the dark abyss, heartless foe. Maybe one day someone will love me and call me Miss Love. One child, one soul, one mind, one divine. Broken hearts, broken starts, everything will fall apart. Just breaks away, and we're left to stay. Just breaks away, no we're left to stay. Just breaks away, no we're left to stay. Just breaks away, no we're left, no we're left, no we're left, no.
I be seeing signs every time I cross the line. When you cross my mind, then I know better. But body don't do me no better. Felt that it betrayed me like lately. It pains me to part ways like it did to part ways. Over 30-day notice to pack. Are we created in our fiction? In fact, both hated and both relapsed. Trapped in the cycle of the spirit of the spiral. Who knows the pain like I do? My partner in creation, parting ourselves to make this situation. Without healing, involuntarily dead our animation. Without killing, didn't come without no crying. Didn't come without no silence. Like voices in the silence. What is spirit trying to say? About the foundation I lay and the power it don't take to do without meaning to make. Power it don't take to do without meaning to make. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn the lesson so hard it left a scar. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn this lesson so deep it won't repeat. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn the lesson so hard it left a scar. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn this lesson so deep it won't repeat.
Nothing worse than sharing kids with a dysfunctional bitch. She'll try her best to hold them hostages on some torture and shit. Parental alienation, current abomination. Prohibiting their master selling your infant from off the plantation. What possesses you to be like Satan? What offenses have you picked me for tormenting? Codependent maybe from generational trauma. Never in life did I expect to have a crazy baby mama. I prefer a white face and my daughter without drama. But those must be fairy tales when you are from the bottom. Often our deepest stars come from wolves in sheep clothing. Working to take advantage of your heart and leave it broken. I pray for every victim of abuse and narcissism not to overlook their pain. Yeah, and hopefully you learned a lot from that good buddy, so it never happens again.
A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn a lesson so hard it left a scar. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn this lesson so deep it won't repeat. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn the lesson so hard it left a scar. A good bully teach what you ain't learned fully. Learn this lesson so deep it won't repeat.
Stars above, so below, like the globe. Mind spinning, time shifting like the atmosphere. Need to pay attention. Perfume on some cockeyed like cancer with detention. It's prison, they lynch me. They words have their intentions. Chanting I can't breathe while the government cat off. Best take off while the president play golf. Build your house upon the sand. I can't stand it, nothing soft. Our community won't talk. Too much static, still in shock. Could've trained, but we did not. It's too late to fight that clock. Can't yell fire when it's hot. When the messenger gets shot. Cause the powers are corrupt. And we scared it's gon' erupt. So that mountain gon' get tough. Ain't that big on giving up. Do it big and run it up. Stack your keys and watch your cup. Watch them snakes and watch your mouth. Move in silence, not for clout. Say it like you never down. I can't lie, I love the crowd. Gotta keep my ego down. I can't turn my limit now. I just learned to breathe and stop. Plotting to take over the planet. Low vibration means constantly. Take off, baby, they just landed. On God is scripture in all my verses. Breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. I ain't tryna waste my air, running circles with a square. If the space is all we share, why we cutting them like hair? Wiped out like mad, ain't a single judge that's fair. Loyalty, it be so rare, we can't even see it clear. When the royalty is near, I'm the empress on the team. I speak goddess, I speak king, let's be honest, I see dreams. I don't resonate with memes, sink or swim, throw some wings. See the noise is just a stream, don't get drowned by other beams. While they busting at the seams, I ain't hiding, I'm a ludist. Honestly, ain't the rudest, that's why they say the truth hurts. Lying through your teeth, babe, that's how you turn toothless. The same folks killed Jesus, they had to pay. Judas, I ain't going back to old ways. Let me grab my own stage. Y'all your own Trump, inner child in your own cage. Anger isn't wrong, up to you, control your own rage. Author of the story, turn your own page. I was staying solid like granite, plotting to take over the planet. Low vibration means constantly. Take off, baby, we just landed. On God is scripture in all my verses. Breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. I pray your soul elevates and breaks all the stakes that people have tried to stab you in the back with. Catch you on a slave ship being so abrasive when they should have been adjacent. Meaning by your side, stepping in stride. I see you upset cause they wrecked your pride. They sucked, were immature. Came at you with love and pure, and that's not something a beautiful soul like yourself should have had to endure. I'd like to think if I had been around, I would have loved you more, but you don't need me for what's in store. You're special, although you don't always gotta be a rebel. Lots of folks dig you cause you come with a shovel. You got long distance vision like the Hubble. These niggas graham crackers cause around you they crumble. You deserve everything you wanted but double. I swear to God, nigga, you cool. You ain't even a nigga, you in a goose. A king in a dream, representing some truth that is just too pure, too sweet, too new. But I've been sending prayers and good vibes through. I hope you get all your energy back and your mind unwinds and you seal all the cracks. That you never have to experience lack. That any struggle you have just pushes you on track. That you got invisible armor on your back and stay the reason all these motherfuckers wanna be black. Black, 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 black.
Real, hey, shit, right here, bro. Real shit, my nigga. That real shit, nigga. Good as fuck, nigga. Hey, hit this shit, nigga. My uncle got blocked in 97, came home in 2011. Most of my loved ones is ex-felons. My nigga slid up on me, bro, we was getting high. He said he slipped, he may have to sit down and do some time. But that's the loved one, so I told him if you need anything, just holler. And I'ma hold you down, your sleep's gon' be alright. That's just a solid, I'm following the rules to the game. Plus if it was me, I know my nigga would do the same. You're bumping with a few cats from my block that might need gunshots. Cause real niggas don't call the cops. I still adhere to the rules of which I was raised by. Get money, never switch up and stay fly. Not just your dress code, nigga, your mind state. Never fictional what I spit, plus I rhyme great. Don't fuck with fairy tales that niggas make up. Roll top shelf shit, don't twist, don't shake up, nigga. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel this. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel this. No. Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit.
Imagine the unimaginable. It's the incredible, unstoppable. Brody Locust back up in your stereo. Whoa, hot damn, back up on my bullshit. Master of disaster is the pastor in your pulpit. Talking this shit, I spit a loogie in your Wi-Fi. Crumbling his birthday cake. Enemies is hot times. I've been seasoned, might as well call me battlegrounds. I was in the project buildings where they using battle rounds. Embraced by soldiers with random numbers through fingertips. With flip phones and triple deuces and unruliness. Stayed away from sucker shit. Stayed away from dirty rats. Sat on that couch, got all pronounced on some of that soft fat. By the time I'm 22, shit, I had a lot to lose. Big brother did a bit, and when he got out, he said, we gonna get rich. Don't count me out. My heart is colder than a cooler. Thank God for the game that I learned from my big bruh, Judah.
Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel less. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel less. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit.
What up, everybody? This is your boy DJ Rowe. And are you in the building?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Yes. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Global History Radio. I'm trying to get more people to come on over here. Hey, what's up, Facebook? From Facebook, I'm tagging it right here because I'm trying to show some videos and all of that. We've been doing this for a while. There's certain journalists and things and people that I talk about a lot and think real highly of. So I wanted to try playing some of their stuff so people could get it right from the source. And I just learned so much from some of them, and I really try to emulate how they do stuff, because that is how you get better. You don't, sometimes people want to cop out and say they're not going to imitate. It's like, no, you pick up skills, you see stuff, and you want to try it yourself, and it comes out differently. I mean, it just does. And if you really make something your own. So yeah, I learned a lot from Mehdi Hasan. And so we got a couple things going on here with our little Global History Radio crew. On July 28th, we're going to be celebrating Mother-in-Law of the Year. And Dora, celebrating Bewitched, the greatest show ever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And we have a regular gig. I just can't even believe how we are like soaring. It's going to be the third Friday every month.
And check this out. This ain't we. This is all Anna. Anna is like, she's like P. Diddy in Vallejo. She's like a P. Diddy in Vallejo. She's like, they should just give her the key to the city. I don't know why they just don't do it. Y'all just might as well give her a key to the city.
One of these days, maybe that would be very cool. But we're a team. We've been doing this for a while, and so people are really excited to be hearing 60s music. And I'm doing some work over at Vallejo Museum. It's been Vallejo Naval Historical Museum, which is a very long title. I think it's too long a title. And I mean, Vallejo was a Navy town. They did really need to get that across, but it's other stuff too. And yes, there's art museums and natural history museums and stuff like that. But most museums are historical. So you can take the history part out, and it's being called Vallejo Museum. That's what we're working on. So I've been doing some work there in the library, in the research library, and people send in queries about their house. I mean, it's a pretty cool service. If you're trying to find out something, you can contact the Vallejo Museum, and I will look it up for you. So I got an inquiry about a business. And the person wanted to know what was going on there. I think it was 1946, 47, 48. So I went to look up the business, and there was a whole lot of other businesses listed. The way you do the phone books back then is you'll look up you start with the address. I had the address of this place, and so I look up the address, and that'll tell me the name of the business and the proprietor. So then I go look up the business and the proprietor. So there's a couple different places where you need to go, and there'll be other names listed possibly. So then I'll look those up too. And it turned out with this business, it kept sending me to different places because there was also a pawn shop. I'd been told the first thing it said was that it was a tavern, but then you also see pawn shop and cafe. So that kind of sounds like a pretty nice place to spend your evening. You say you go pawn something, then you have a little snack, and then you hit the bar. And it was a real familiar name. And so what we kind of figured out was that there was gambling going on at this bar. And because because I saw the name, and I barely know anything about this stuff. I mean, there's people at the museum that are from Vallejo and just have all this knowledge that it takes a while to get. And so it turned out that so then I went and looked up these people someplace else, and there was a clipping. Apparently they moved to Vegas. So I guess it got to be not so easy to run a gambling parlor in Vallejo. So that was enjoyable. And so I'm just struggling to kind of get the organization. So I have photos and notes, and what I'm trying to do is put it together in a form. I don't know, try and make it more coherent and get it to these people, because I just also always feel like, okay, I should be able to find something else. There are these old maps, really old, that you can use that show a lot of different things, but I am just not familiar with enough with them to try to really do any work on them. I need to learn some more, and they're pretty difficult to handle. So you don't want to just like pull them out and put them back. And then so there's gonna be a Verlania. Hey Verlania, you want to come on the show? Can't hear you, Roselle.
What's going on, Verlania?
Yeah, I'll send you an invitation. So, okay, so there's going to be a benefit gala at the museum on October 15th. Another cool thing that's happening at Naval Museum, because there's a very cool new director. And I am going to say, like, all right, the prior director, oh, cool. Okay, I got you, lady. You're welcome on anytime. So, yeah, and then hopefully you'll hit our show. We'd love to have you be part of it. The prior director was cool as fuck as well. I mean, he really made it a community museum, not just a naval museum. But anyway, I'm having a good time. So we're going to be decorating it and putting up a whole lot of 60s stuff. And so I told her that I knew a DJ that, because she was talking about getting all the 60s music. I was like, oh, I know a DJ. And so I love this lady, because a lot of people will be like, so she contacted you and she gave you a whole list, right?
Oh yeah, she really went in on the music, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yes, it's gonna be very cool. And well, she's also going to start working on having more local artists have stuff in the gift shop. So yeah, she likes Verlania's art, and some other people. Last art walk, I was walking by Melinda, the new director, was also concerned. See, she's pretty new in town, but I was talking with her about how there was fire damage downtown, and all these people were raising money for the Anchor Pantry, whereas the business next door to it also sustained damage and didn't get as much money. And Melinda was all over that. So she is interested in having Stephanie, owner of the joint, have her artists in there too, because the museum gift shop is not really that exciting. So showcasing local art would be very cool. So I've been down in the basement there going through stuff. Yes, absolutely. Going through stuff and finding, you just go like, okay, I'm going to look up this. I'm going to look up that. And so, but looking at artifacts is so fucking cool. I found this old record player, and I'm just beginning to, and like, yes. Okay.
What kind of record player did you find?
Well, when we screen share, I can bring it up. Okay, Verlania, the best way to do this is to come on the Zoom. So I'm sending you that link right now because we're on YouTube also. So that way it just works a lot better that way. So I'm sending that to you now, and you can pop on the Zoom. Okay, we're getting a little, yeah, you can just catch a lot more that way. Okay, back to Zoom here. It wasn't that old, but I'm sending both. Dope. But yeah, come on both if you want. Getting the hang of this, but Zoom's better. Yeah, so I'll screen share it, but I was just, because then there was other stuff with it. There were rolls kind of, and I was wondering, I think that they might have had, remember those old pianos, or were they even pianos where you had like paper rolls that would, that's how the music came. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah. So it has so when you're like, if you play something, the paper goes and like,
yeah,
does the note. That is cool.
Very
and it still works.
Not totally sure. I can't really tell. That might have been what those rolls were. Okay. I think Verlania is coming up both ways.
Well, all she got to do, yeah, I got her. Once I see her come on, I'll add her.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on the Zoom. That'll, yeah, he's watching. So okay, when a participant, then we'll, okay, she's on here. Hey, Verlania. How you doing? Okay, do I have this volume up? Okay, I'm trying, this isn't working that great. Verlania, did you get the Zoom link? This isn't working so great. I can't get the volume up. Yeah, it'll work a lot better if you come on Zoom. Because my volume's not coming up on this. Lame. Okay. Sorry, audience. We're just trying to get this going a little better. Well, yeah, because my volume's not on, so we can't hear you.
Yeah, tell her to come on YouTube.
Yeah, Yeah, come on, or come on YouTube. We can or if you hit the Zoom and come on, and you can come on our Zoom. Yeah, hit the Zoom link on your messenger. Because yeah, I can't hear you on this. I don't know why it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Thank you, everybody. We're working on this. This isn't working. Yeah, so I'm looking for one of those, and there's typewriters down there and like fucking telegraph things. She's not showing up on Zoom. Yeah, we can't hear you on this, Verlania. I might need, unless I like go on a different thing and start over.
Yeah, she's not on Zoom yet.
Yeah, okay, I'm posting. Maybe my other. You're welcome, Julie. I tried to go to okay, I was trying to go down and catch my friend's trial that she's working on today. But yeah, so anyway, I got to go look at the clothes in the museum, and that is just one of my favorite things of all time. So that was fucking cool. People are really, really possessive about, people act that way in museums, and it's really fucked up. And so I've tried to get involved with a lot of projects, and people like don't want to get you involved, or else one of the biggest things is that you get people that aren't professionals that really want to act like they're all that. And so I went into there's some guy that is also doing some work there that was like slamming shit around because he didn't like me in there. And I'm like, you idiots aren't even using white cotton gloves. So anyway, it's really rough to develop relationships with people and get back there. But that is what I finally got to do. And so it was, I love vintage clothing. In my other life, I had like a business buying and selling them. I used to wear tons of vintage. I had the fucking coolest connections because I was buying. I wish I had pictures of more of it. I wish I documented all my outfits. I had such great clothes. But as time went on, I kind of just needed to sell them, and I was selling stuff that wasn't from my collection. But then as time went on, I needed to sell all my great stuff too. So it's a lot of fun for me to get to work with this stuff. And so it's going to be real cool. And there will be food. And then I got a message from her today, from the museum director today, asking about, okay, so none of our visitors are showing up yet. Asking about cameras, because I said that we can make up sets sort of and have people take pictures there for a fundraiser. So I got an email saying, well, what about doing this with antique cameras? And I was like, yeah, I got just the person, man, my friend Calvin Harrell. I was like, okay, well, here's his information. You can talk with him about photography and the NAACP and anything to do with Vallejo, because Melinda's kind of new to this whole thing. So I got this message from her today saying, what is up with Vallejo City Council meetings? And I was like, okay, this needs to be a conversation. Vallejo City Council meetings are fucking crazy, and they just seem to be that. That's what since we didn't have our show last night, because I sort of pop in and out of meetings, but last night I was there for more of it because we didn't have our show. So because Calvin has a collection of antique cameras, and I don't know how long their photography studio has been around, but a while. And so what we will probably do is set up a little area for people to pose and take pictures and whatever for fundraising. And what's going to happen, Roselle, you don't have business cards, do you?
No, but you know what? I need to hurry up and make some, but no, I don't have any yet.
You do, because especially because what's going to happen at this event is there's going to be a lot of old timers there. And so they're going to want to hire you for like their wedding anniversaries, stuff like that.
So, maybe I'll look into seeing if I can get some made by then.
Mm-hmm. So that is going to be real dope. So yeah, so I've connected her. See, age, where you at, man? You're supposed to be here. I saw him today. He asked me the same question as you did a little while ago, like, aren't you going to run for office? And I was like, no, I mean, I don't have the right personality for that. And I'm good at connecting people. So I'm connecting her with Vallejo has a chapter of the NACW, National Association of Colored Women, that was started by Mary McLeod Bethune in the beginning of I should know this, maybe late 19th century. Oh shoot, there was just, okay, now I just have to see. There's some news about Mrs. Bethune that I will give us in just a minute. So I'm connecting them so the museum can hopefully have the archives of the Vallejo chapter, and also the archives of the Vallejo NAACP. Damn, I just shared this. Where the fuck is it? Okay, shit. Well, I'll find it. Okay. There's now a statue of Mary McLeod Bethune in the Capitol. So that is cool. It's very cool. Fascinating lady that just did, one of these people that just did so many things. So yeah, so everybody, DJ Rowe needs business cards. I need business cards too, but you need them even more because like, you need, because when you kind of like when people come up, it's not like you can get into that much of a conversation with people. And like, if you're just taking a quick break from DJing, so I can like, tell people my name and I'm on Facebook or get their information, but you kind of, you just kind of need something to like hand to people when they come up to your table. That's the logic right there. So, okay, so that is some of what's going on in Vallejo. What happened, and so what happened, one of the things that was happening at Vallejo City Council was periodically there are groups of impacted family members of people that have been killed by Vallejo cops. The impacted families and supporters of the impacted family. So last night's people were scheduled to come down. There were like a lot of news agencies there. Fortunately, I think they finally fucking caught on and had fewer cops. Sometimes when this gets announced, you get there and the entire fucking street will be filled with cop cars, and there'll be cops lined up inside, and not one of the impacted families, they have never brought in a weapon or anything. And you just make things so much worse. And that it's just so, like, yeah, there needs to be security, not from them, I don't think, but it's just sadly with the way our world is, like, anybody could be coming in and going nuts. And I am fucking sick of like the joke of the security guards. There's like one guy outside, he's sort of like, he practically looks asleep. He's kind of like leaned over, looking over his phone. He's not even looking out. And then when you come in, I came in, there's two guys just sitting at the table, text messaging, and I come in, start to walk by, and they're like, oh, hold on, we need to check you. And I'm just thinking, like, fuck you. You should be, if you want to, you should just be standing there. Don't make me wait while you get your ass up from your game. And so, yeah, it's just annoying. I'm like, come on. I don't know. If I'm in charge of anything, there's not going to be people on their fucking cell phones all the time. It's just, okay, come on. It was not all, you can do it. It wasn't always like that. So people are demonstrating, they want to have a police officer that's been involved in probably like 3 shootings. Yeah, I can't even fucking believe this. Here's like how different some of my relatives are than me. I was like talking with somebody about Vallejo, who's like married to a relative of mine. I said, there's been like 20 officer involved shootings in the past like 10 or 20 years. Like 2012, there was like 5. And he goes like, oh, people are shooting cops. I'm like, where do you not live in the United States? I mean, what do you think is happening? So a lot of people were there to speak, and they tried to limit it. So they let more people speak than were on whatever that we're on there than we're supposed to, which I think is bullshit. It is a public meeting. Everybody that wants to speak should be able to speak. And they have closed meetings. And so the whole point is that this should be for the public. And so Vallejo, 2 years ago, there was an article published about a tradition amongst Vallejo police officers that had killed a civilian. After killing a civilian, they would bend the tip of their badge. And it's also said that there were barbecues by people that, commemorating what they did. And so that's been talked about for a while. It's been investigated. It is now documented in court. There was a wrongful termination suit or something, because as far as I know, nobody has yet been prosecuted for actually killing someone. So it wasn't even about the police deaths, the killings. It was a different lawsuit. And the person who was being interviewed talked about it. Ex-cop. He talked about it from when he was a rookie, and the tradition was started by, stuff like this isn't isolated. So I now think it's pretty safe I think it's safe to assume that this practice happens all over the country. It's not like one person dreams it up. And so there were 2 brothers, I think, or it was brothers or a father and son that were on the police force. And what happens is cops get fired from Oakland and come to Vallejo, and so they brought this practice with them, and these two people were kind of in charge of it. So it was and so the person that was being interviewed had been a new cop who was also threatened by these people. And it's just, again, an illustration of how this behavior keeps going, that they are, how nobody blows the whistle, and all the factors in a society, in a community. It's a community. So a lawyer, so two attorneys that are the defense attorneys from this case came down to city council last night to speak, and they were, and again, okay, and we talked about this before. The police, there isn't really a legal way to, members of the council they can't fire police officers. There is not a legal way for them to do that. That's not an opinion. That's just the law. So, but they can't seem to and everybody knows that. And, the people, I think most of the people that are down there calling for this cop to be fired, they know that. Most of these people have been working on this issue for years. They've been demonstrating since their relatives were killed. And so, I think, and with some of, you need to try and bring people in. You need to try and communicate with them as people, express some fucking compassion, which the leaders of the city don't really seem to do. I think some of them have. And again, there's people that there's people that have spoken out about this issue, who have personal connections, that have been deeply involved in it. And if anybody's listening, I encourage you to go to that, to read that, look for them, for their sources, for their voices. But so what the lawyer did, this is fucking crazy. We might need to try and play this next week. He was, when the guy testified about the badge bending, the lawyer asked him if the badges had ever been repaired and if there were invoices for that. And the person testifying said no, and he didn't think any of the cops would be dumb enough to do that. Okay, so this guy's a good lawyer. He really, he said that regrettably, that whoever was testifying had overestimated the cops, because there are invoices to a badge company that he was able to find, which say very in straightened tip above the V, above the E in Vallejo. They sent the badges to be repaired, and the names on them, the names of whoever's cop's badge it was, are the people that corroborate with the people that have been involved in the cop shootings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh wee.
Yeah. Yeah. I sent you that. I sent you a tape of it, video of it. I was trying to see if I could download it so that we could play it, but I couldn't quite figure that out. They also have video of the mother of Angel Ramos, who was killed by a cop. She and Angel's sister are at the meetings a lot, are very vocal advocates for victims of police brutality. So she was just up like at the break trying to just sobbing and screaming at people and the council members, and they all just walked past her. And then there was another lady, the last person to speak, and was a lady that was just practically hysterical. And I think the gist of it was her son had been in an accident or something or other, and the police came to her house to tell her, but somehow wound up like brutalizing her then and dragged her out of the house and dragged her out of the, she was just hysterical. So people were coming and like trying to kind of, and so then the city attorney said like, well, we might need an ambulance, and people were screaming like, don't call an ambulance, don't call. I mean, she's already traumatized. So basically they called a break, and then some people, I don't know if anybody there like knew her, but some of the people that were sitting near her came and tried to just figure out what was going on with her. And then the city attorney or whomever like agreed to try and figure out what had happened. So yeah, giving him the lowdown on the last night's Vallejo City Council meeting.
Well, Anna should run for city council.
No, I don't have the personality.
Yes, she does.
I so don't.
She's a mover and shaker.
This way, I can do what I want. I can say what I want and all of that. You can't do that when you're in office. When you're an office holder, you have to be nice to everybody. Even though, this was bad. Some of them are so. Even though, some of them are so fucking pathetic. They were like, it turned into this like cat fight between two of the council members. Were actually starting to argue with each other about whose neighborhood was worse. So I posted on Facebook, Karen War. I mean, it's like you're arguing about who's like, okay, yeah, ladies, none of you are. Just don't.
Who has more street cred?
Exactly. None of you. I promise. One of them was like complaining about how expensive it was to get her roof fixed. I'm like, yeah, you're real hood there.
Gonna fake the mixtape.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, bro. I mean, Anna should run for city council. Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm Age. Hi, what's up?
Hey.
I haven't been on like this forum. My mic was all dusty and shit. Like, oh shit, I've been on one of these. And
wow.
So,
well, we are going over some of the stuff that we have going on, and then we saw each other today, Rogue. You are like, tell us about the new thing you guys have going on.
Rogue's all over the place. Rogue, he's the busy guy. But yeah, we have a new radio show happening every Sunday. Mutiny Radio, Ugly Sundays. Yeah, we'll get it cracking every 4 to 6 every Sunday. So Rose a high configuration of the whole machine. You know, he's like the blue line and shit. And you know, we put it together. Even though it's like we signed his signature, put those shit together because he's all over the place. So we're just it's fucking working, bro.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
People excited about it too. Yes. Well, but real guys, all type of things going real. How many? I mean, what are you working on right now? I mean, you got like shows up the kazoo, or you still even?
I'm just DJing a bunch of stuff, man. So it's just. Yeah. I know I'm doing Anna's thing on the 28th.
Dude.
Yes.
Next week, I'm supposed to be doing a party in Vallejo. I mean, not Vallejo, but Fairfield.
Boy, tell us about the 28th. Tell us about the 28th.
The 28th is supposed to be, she can actually tell you more. I'm just DJing it, but I think it has something to do with Twitch Talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Twitch Talk.
She can explain that a little bit better. That's her thing. I'm just the DJ there. I'm going to be playing the 60s music.
Yes. The 60s music. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I'm pulling up some photos that, okay. This is really cool. Okay, so is this good? Let's see if this shows up. Okay, so this is news from this is some okay, good. Okay, this is some art news I wanted to share. Okay, here's a Van Gogh and it was experts at the National Galleries of Scotland x-rayed a Van Gogh painting and found another one. So here's one of a lady, this one right here, and they x-rayed it. And then on the other side, there's that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So they were like, so there's like a classic piece of art on one side, and homie was like, oh, I made a mistake. Let me just turn the paper over and do another one.
Well, he was broke artist.
Yeah, that makes sense because I could see not throwing away. Damn, you got like 2 pieces of art for the price of one. That's so sick. That's sick.
Yeah. I mean, there was the whole thing about how artists, like with the Basquiat forgeries. I mean, he would do paintings on the back of like FedEx envelopes and all of this. And so, they found out that these pictures were forgeries because they found out that like, okay, FedEx didn't have envelopes like that until 2 years later. But with the Van Gogh, they just did it with the X-ray. So that was pretty fucking cool looking.
Have you ever heard of a Banksy piece of Banksy art came up on a fence, and when somebody noticed it, and it was on a wooden fence, and then the person ran to the mayor and said, "Mayor, look, there's an original piece of Banksy on this wooden fence." Then they ran back to the fence, and someone cut that fence off. Like cut that whole piece off, cut the wood and like just sawed off that whole chunk of fence to the Banksy piece.
Yeah, and so then you just need to sell something like that on like the underground, or I don't know. Was there a Banksy exhibit here in San Francisco?
Yes, there was.
Okay, and you went to that, right?
Yes, I did. That was my Christmas present. That shit was so fire. It was so dope. For real. It really is inspirational. You know what? Thank you for having me as a guest. I haven't really been doing this in a while, but since I am here, I want to talk about some things since I'm here. Like, I've been quietly working on my novel, and it's coming around third base right now. I'm almost done with it. And I hope to have it in the physical by November for sale. But I'm doing the proofreading, in the audiobook to have it done by the summer over.
You know, Ro better get a copy.
Boy.
A signed copy.
This book right here, I've been quietly working on for 2 years. This is like the first time I'm really talking about it this much. Because I've really been like, Adrian, you talk about everything. Don't talk about this. So I'm finally kind of talking about it. It's really good. It's really good. It's really good. It's a love story. Okay. It's a love story. It's a hip hop love story. It's about a man who grows up doing hip hop, and he doesn't even know how much this hip hop shapes his life. So hip hop gets him his girlfriend. Hip hop makes him depressed, happy, and everything. And it's a really funny, good story. I wrote it in a way where I could eventually see it as like a Fridays type of movie. I wrote it as like a script.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounded like that when you told me about it.
Yeah, I wrote it. Like I said, I've been really quietly working on it, and I'm now starting to talk about it. But because I'm around third base, I'm almost done with it. But a couple things is, it's 80% fictional, 20% real, but based around all real people in my life. So yeah, super excited. Michi's my love interest.
Did you change your name?
I'm the character, this character named King. It's not really me, but it's like my persona.
Yeah.
The love interest is this girl named Michelle.
Michelle, yeah.
She gets yelled at as Michi a couple times. P's my dude King's best friend. Ro knows my cousin P was Bino's my dude. I'm about to cry talking about him. He died. So I've really been like, the book's called I Ain't No Joke. And I'm fucking excited about my shit. And I've been like, really, like I said, really been keeping on the rest, but I think I should start bringing it up in a minute because I'm trying to get it published. Not just printed, but published.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks. I'm about to get back. And on that same note, shout out to my dude Mike Hampton, Brandon Brackamonster, Foodie, all my comic book boys, all my comic book peoples. They're getting back on the horse of publishing, the conventions, and people are starting to like this now. Like my boy just finished his first comic book in like fucking 4 years, and I was just like, damn, you're still doing it. So in a way, thank you, Anna, for letting me talk about it too, though. But I've been trying to seize the right time because I want to print it up with the intention of going out and doing book signings.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like. It made no sense trying to have it done in the last couple of years. I'm trying to get it done for like the Christmas season, this upcoming Thanksgiving. Trying to have my shit in the physical. But I'm all about it, talking it up now. I'm like officially. This is like my first talking about I Ain't No Joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love
fire.
having that.
Hey, Zilla.
Yeah.
That's my quiet shit, but on the loud, I've been recording shit. We just had a session tonight, my nigga. Like, I just recorded Shogun and Christ. They just left. We just banged one out tonight. Fire. It's called Lights Out. It's hella dope.
Talented. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I've been producing readings for years.
Yes, you have, motherfucker. You're so modest. You know what I was saying about you and Ro? You two are really some of the most modest, hardworkingest people in Vallejo. You guys would be eating out there, but like you're so modest about it because I don't think there's enough rah out there. Like people they're not as busy as you guys. You guys be out here fucking grinding, bro.
Bro, totally.
Right on age.
Ro's the fucking backbone to everyone's shit, my nigga. Yo, what the
Ethnic
fuck?
Notions age. We got to do a reading for you at Ethnic Notions.
Yeah.
Such a cool, because she's also got a screen too.
I know Ethnic Notions. Like in a way, Anna, I've been kind of quarantined, sat me down. My cousin's passing, sat me down, and I've been sitting down and resting, but with the intention of printing up. I ain't no joke, and getting my hands dirty on the signing aspect. Really getting out there, backpack full, start hitting these blocks again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all good. But thank you for letting me talk about it. I'm really excited about it, man. And it's so funny because when I wrote it, I can actually see people playing. They're like, oh, I could see, like, P's gone. So my cousin, I would have role play Bino. I would have role play my cousin.
And I definitely would have your back. Just let me know.
No, but you know how important my cousin is to me, right? And why I would have role play Bino is not just truthfully, it's the physique. Because like Bino and Ro like the same size and shit. They got the same. But Ro's a lot nicer than Bino. Bino would be like, nigga, da-da-da. Ro does not flame people. Ro has no flamage in him. Except when it's it's like Raider talk. When it's Raider talk, like,
yeah, when the Raider talk, we going in.
You motherfucker. Yeah. But Ro's really nice. But yeah. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm just trying to get back onto producer shit, man.
Yeah. Well, let's why don't we I'll fill people in on our shows that are coming up, and then let's take a break, and I hope you'll hang with us, Age.
Oh, of course.
What I want to do, I want to I want to try playing a couple videos. I sent Roselle a playlist. So if we take a music, let's do this, and then Ro, you can play a couple of them. You got them? Can you play them?
You want me to do it now, or do you want me to play some music first? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, we'll go to some music for a bit, and then we'll come back and we'll go to your videos. You want to do it like that? All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's go. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Trapping and rapping, it's nasty. Yeah, I'm a divine freak. Your girl always know how to find me. Taking bitches down is my hobby. Don't give me head if it ain't sloppy. Yeah, I'm a divine freak. Your girl always know how to find me. Taking bitches down is my hobby. Don't give me head if it ain't sloppy. Once upon a time, not long ago, I went to buy a couple swishers from the corner store. But oh no, what is this that I see? Two big booty Amazons waving at me. Ooh wee, bye. Look at them big lips, hips, and thighs. I wonder why I gotta be like that. My bitch is waiting at the room and she's already mastered the right phone numbers with a pen and paper. I got a business card, bitch call me later. My bitch got a habit of always checking my pocket. She knows if I'm a pimpin' ways and she's trying to stop it. But oh no, it's never not gonna happen. I be a thug next nigga till I'm tired of macking. So either you can bounce to this or yourself another blunt, smoke an ounce of this. Come on, I'm a divine freak. Your girl always know how to find me. Taking bitches down is my hobby. Don't give me head if it ain't sloppy. Yeah, I'm a divine freak. Your girl always know how to find me. Taking bitches down is my hobby. Don't give me head if it ain't sloppy.
Like that weed.
This shit, man. Take that.
You're so you got me in the lobby in the back rolling up, man.
And do you see?
So official, man. Glad you can be here with us, man.
Looking right back at you.
Let's get it. What that verse say? Damn. Another lyrical murder case. I knew I was gonna kill a beat soon as I heard the bass. The mixtape man been killing this rap shit, and I'm H1N1. I'm feeding for some smack sick.
Oh my.
break down the science of life. The beat, I'm always riding it nice. I catch the break, then I slide it precise. I'm like an N1 player shaking the nigga up. Building, politicking with my niggas on the bigger stuff. Publishing checks, not the trunk. Keep my name buzzing. Show love, I show the same. Haters mad cause they never make nothing. That ain't my concern. No, I push these words on the curb, rolling grapes to burn. The streets I'm from, you either nice or never make it. And when you take respect out the game, ain't nothing left is sacred. The birth of hip-hop was art. Then they monetize the shit for paper. That's when you see the shit start getting funny. Now you see the shit they do for the bread. Proper consciousness, the jewels that I drop is for the head. Still on the block with these junkies and these prostitutes. Cops don't gotta stop and frisk. They gotta stop and shoot. Hey.
You're so bad, it's no lie.
No lie.
And do you see
You see?
me
You see me?
looking right back at you?
Niggas still getting paper on the first now with CBT. Digitally is how it's dispersed now. I still make music for my niggas who be on the curb. I'm well respected, always reciting the realest words. She got one kid, got one kid.
H. Scott. Yeah. You busy. What are you smoking? I don't brag on my dick and I'm not from Oakland. Say 707 backwards. 707 should be your answer. I'm just playing, I'm just joking, man. I love Oakland. I just needed another word to rhyme with smoking. I'm thug nasty, so lighten up, nigga. All I do is smoke weed, rap, and drink liquor.
Nigga, it's H. Scott. Known on the name Scott off the bail lot. From East Oakland, smoking like a Newport. Born and raised in the game, so I sound like I'm from New York. Born to max, blowing the sack. Age Dilla, fantastic, flowing on tracks. Y'all niggas run around blowing they racks. 707, I'm up, blazing on tracks.
Well, I be pimping, and pimps don't dance, we boogie. Baby pimps don't go to school, they play hooky. Pimps don't drive, we get driven. If I'm walking and I'm limping, I'm not hurt, I'm just pimping. My mouthpiece is a natural. Blessed with the gift of gab, supernatural. Freestyle I can't do with my ring, but talented. Fuck this shit, I need to smoke a blunt, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit, my nigga.
Get this shit fucked.
Crazy, my nigga, right?
Hey, Scott.
Raised in East Oakland, 23rd. Nigga always rhyming using funny words. Gunplay or one race. Nigga keep the heat close. Wearing baggy jeans, white tees, and a peacoat. Known for hella shit. Oakland Raiders, Oakland A's, Oakland Straights, Oakland Faders. Tom Hanks, great actors. UEP, Black Panthers. 657 and Hammers dancers.
I'm from VALLEJO. Homer Mac, Dre, and E4O. OG Sly Stone and Confunk shut
at the function. Slap some hobo junctions. Fair story that's always bumping. H got not a lane or a new name. Remember when football was 2 lanes.
Fuck the fame, I do it for the money. I'm needy, not greedy, man. It ain't funny.
It ain't funny cause it ain't no joke. Yay area, Vallejo, San Fran, in the Oak.
Man, Age, you lived it, bruh.
Yeah,
Dope.
I
that
mean,
was dope.
thanks,
man,
bro.
Age, you was on that, boy.
We have so much newer heat, though. I mean, I gotta give you some of these new ones, bro. Seriously.
Hey, once you give it to me, it's gonna be played. I'll tell you that.
Off top, yo, bro. What YouTube channel do people watch this podcast on?
Roz Joy 76.
Okay, Roz
ROZJOY 76.
Joy 7. You know, I gotta let my homies know online to come tune in.
Yeah,
That's on you.
yeah, and let them know that. I mean, we love to have different artists come on here, share their experience, talk about their work and who they are. So,
That's why you have me on your show tonight,
right.
Anna.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna pump it up.
Yes. So Roselle, can you play? Did you get that playlist I sent you? Could you play one of them?
Yeah, I got it. Yep.
Okay. So thanks to, again, super talented friend Age. So let's play I want to play some videos I just think are really fucking brilliant. So
All right,
the first one, would you? This is
yes.
Mehdi Hassan.
We'll do. See what we can do.
I know it's difficult for you. I know you want to try and defend him.
No, it isn't.
You can't quote yourself. I'll laugh when I ask for a reference.
Why not?
Scotty, you're pivoting again. This is not the show for pivoting.
He doesn't lie to you, but he lies to the rest of us. No, he doesn't. The Washington Post fact checked 46 statements by Donald Trump. 70% were found to be completely false.
Good, so I'm sure that
the guy
the
tells
Democratic,
more lies than any candidate.
I'm sure that the Hillary campaign is going to use all that on some, commercial.
It's not just the Hillary campaign. Republican senators called him liars. Ted Cruz called him a pathological liar.
Those politicians.
You're following a guy who lies more than any other candidate, and you're talking about
Manny,
honesty.
Come on.
You don't think he lies? Everyone's heard him tell untruths.
In the conversations that I've had with him, and very straightforward.
Fair enough. He doesn't lie to you, but he lies to the rest of us.
No, he doesn't. What you see is what you get out of him.
You do not believe that Trump campaign people were falsely surveilled in some form?
But this is a problem, Scotty. Trump could have tweeted, "I'm outraged that people on my campaign were surveilled by the FBI over false links to Russia." He didn't say that. He said, "Obama tapped my phones." Do you see the difference?
I love how you're looking at the words.
What,
yes,
I'm reading? You love how I'm looking at the words.
I love how you're
going
to. I agree. Wiretapping is the wrong word on this.
How do you know millions of imaginary voters voted for Clinton?
Well, because you're seeing ideas of well, first of all, you read your quote right there. Trump said, if you're going to take Trump for his word.
If you deduct the millions of people who voted illegally.
And they would have voted for her.
How do you know that?
Not him.
How do you know that?
Because then why would he be bringing that up if it wasn't beneficial?
But he's the one who made the lie. You can't quote him back to himself. How do you know millions of people voted illegally?
Because we are seeing voter IDs. You look at what happened right now.
You have zero evidence is the answer, isn't it? You don't have any evidence.
We know there's been voter fraud. Do you agree, yes or no? Has there been voter fraud? Has that been proven time and time again?
Yes, in fact, there was a Trump voter who voted several times for him.
Oh, please, give me a break.
Did millions of people vote illegally?
Hold on.
Scotty, you're pivoting again. This is not the show for pivoting.
I'm going to show you.
4 dozen economists are wrong on that. But let me just say,
the models are wrong, the economists are wrong, the history is wrong, Kansas is wrong.
No, only the ones you cite are wrong, not all of them.
You haven't cited
the vast
anyone
majority.
Yet.
Well, I cited all the literature on that, on the growth there. You can find it in the academic literature. I mean, all of it, including Democrats.
America, the United States right now? Can you point to anyone who says right now that the U.S. is going to hit 3-4% growth with a model, a published study?
Oh, I think there will be a lot. You could look at my published studies, by the way.
Okay, you can't quote yourself. I'll laugh when I ask for a reference.
Why not?
Okay, fine.
Why not? I've got my PhD. I've been a professor all my life, and I cite all the articles there and all the growth.
When he says we're the only country in the world where a person comes in and has a baby, and that baby is essentially a citizen of the United States, is that true or false?
No, it's false. It's a misstatement. That doesn't mean it's a lie.
Okay. He said during the campaign that there's 6 to 7 steel facilities that are going to be opened up. There are no. U.S. Steel has not announced any facilities. Why did he say they've announced new facilities? That's a lie, isn't it?
No, it isn't, because there are a lot of companies opening up. There are steel facilities that are going to be opening up, or I think they actually want to open
Stephen,
up
that's
in
not what he said. I know it's difficult for you. I know you want to try and defend him. But
no, it isn't difficult for me.
Okay, let me read the quote. Let me read the quote to you. U.S. Steel just announced that they're building 6 new steel mills. That's a very specific claim. U.S. Steel have not announced 6 new steel mills. They have said they've not announced 6 new steel mills. There's no evidence of 6 new steel mills. He just made it up.
All they talk about is terrorism on television. They tell you to listen, but they don't really tell you their mission. They funded Al-Qaeda, and now they blame the Muslim religion, even though Bin Laden was a CIA tactician.
You're muted.
Mehdi Hassan, man, he is so fucking brilliant, and it's like he's hard on people, but he's never disrespectful. I don't think so. Yeah, we need more people like him. Want to play the next one? It's kind of his greatest hits.
That's his conversation is definitely okay. All right. Yeah. So, do you mind we chit chat about it real quick?
Yeah.
Do you think people are too soft for people's opinions today? Like, can you really? What I'm saying is, when you're spitting the truth to people, you're not trying to be disrespectful, but you're just really spitting the truth. People are really offended really easy today, right? Is it me or is it like?
No,
that's true. That's 100% true.
It's very true.
You can't. But if I don't know, it's like people don't want you to really speak their mind, but then they want you to say something, but they don't want you to. They want you to say what they're gonna agree with.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And there was a situation, the meeting I was listening in last night, where somebody was talking about, a couple of us just like audibly gasped. One of the council members talking about someone else, and she says like, well, Tina doesn't understand how taxes work. And I'm thinking like, I disagree with Tina, but I don't think she doesn't understand. I think
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. It's just so disrespectful. And it's this, I mean, the biggest thing I say to people all the time is we have the same information. We have different opinions or the same information. So that's what I say. To some people, I say, you don't know more than me. But yeah, I mean, just this idea that, I mean, it's one of the things that's so great about ideas. You can, if you can have different ideas about the same information, but there's people that find that offensive. Yes.
I got one. Can I throw one out there?
Go.
So, just conversation since I'm with you guys. It's rare. I haven't been doing this. But like, can you actually sit here and say that there are things people know more of knowledge-wise than you? Like, can you accept that? I know I'm not this. Please, I know. Yeah. So people feel like they're unteachable nowadays.
Oh man. Well, both of you know a lot more about music than I did.
You know more about politics than me. The fuck?
Well,
no, seriously.
You know a lot about opera. I don't know nothing about opera.
Come on, man. Everyone has their strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But see, we know how to work and complement each other.
Exactly. And
I think nowadays everybody wants to be smarter than everybody. I think it's a decade of people thinking they're smarter than everybody. But to me, everybody comes from different paths. They do different things. So everybody's going to be smart in their own way. And it's just, there's nowadays with the information age and Google, everybody just thinks they're super smart.
Everyone thinks they can just Google some
They
shit.
see an article before you. They know more than you. They don't know what you've seen, but
Wikipedia it.
Yeah.
Wiki it. Yeah.
We all can look up the same thing. We all got phones to look it up. It's not like it's a hard thing to do. But some of us just think, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's certain things I just don't need to know. It doesn't really is part of what I want to do, so I don't care.
But you need to be thoughtful about it, because there's people that think looking up something on Wikipedia means that they're right. But if you need to know how to use the information, you need to know how to analyze and put stuff together.
Right. I agree with that.
And then, you know what? It's also okay to be like, bruh, I don't know. Like, bruh, like, you don't have to be on this. I went to a podcast once, and they were talking about how the gender of Furbies, the people want to be considered animal, like fur animals. They're like, well, if you guys, if the LGBT community can get respect, we Furby people should. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did I get to this podcast? Like, I'm like, it's crazy. Like, people, I'm not knocking, because I know this is a serious thing, and I don't mean to make any jokes. I don't want to get canceled, but I'm just saying, like, you have to be really cautious of everything, because people are so touchy today.
Well, as a gay person, I am sick of us being like the dump all for, like, I'm like, why do we have to include everybody? I mean, because now there's like 8 more letters after LGBT. Like, first it should just be like, and I'm like, why do we have to include every, and so I said,
hold up, you're saying when it started, it was LGBT. Now it's like a remix.
Exactly. It is.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Remix.
And yeah, and then some of them, I'm like, why should?
How many?
Yeah.
How many extra letters are there now, Anna?
About 8.
LGBT.
Yeah,
QLST.
there's the Q's, the I, and we have
Rise,
to,
the
okay,
Ys,
like
the M's, the O's.
okay, like theoretically, okay, why we're all we can all be categorized as queer, so why can't we just say that? But no, and then questioning is supposed to be like, I don't give a fuck if you're questioning, and it.
You know what, yeah. Anna?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say this, dear. You know, everyone's getting it now. Everyone. It's like issue of the week right now. Who gets the hot seat of the week? Like you get 2 weeks. I'm telling you, it was the BLM movement like a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago. Now it's like the women's right hot seat. Then around 9/11, it was the Muslims.
It goes like, together. I mean,
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, see, like.
And then that is what I was like say over and over. There's black, BLM is black. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, women are hella mad because they're getting treated like niggas right now.
But what about black women?
No. Women in general. Women in general are worse than niggas now because they're getting ran through the mud with your rights being. Oh, I'm so glad I've written all these jokes about this. I haven't been able to say it nowhere. Let me say them here.
Go ahead. We are free speech.
Yeah.
Free
so
speech.
Women look, what they did to Black Lives Matter, I called it because it's like, if they did it to black people, what do you think they're gonna do to you next? Everyone's gonna get it.
But what about black women?
Black women, they get it the super worse. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's superly worse. Like, I'm just saying, yeah. And I'm trying to make light of it, but every week somebody gets the hot seat. Every 2 weeks, so it's like, who next 2 weeks? Who is it gonna be on? It's so bad, man. I mean, yeah. So,
yeah, and it. And a problem, a lot of it can just become very, like, for example, like very classist, because some of it is some of the language, some of the issues can be more taken up with people that are formally educated. Okay, we're being real clear about formal education because that's got nothing to do with being smart. So, you know, it can turn into like, oh, that person's not as smart because they don't have like the same vocabulary as I do. And like, oh, you know, that person doesn't use the words that I do. So
the articulation, yeah. You know, I have a speech impediment. Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I really have a enunciation problem with certain words. So I'll be like, fuck you. You understand that, motherfucker? But yeah. Whatever. No, but seriously, people do judge.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of that just means we form opinions and, you know.
So the women's right was the Wade versus Roe. That's so foul. But then from a guy's perspective, I got a question for Roe. Roe, have you ever had to pay for a female's abortion?
Nope.
All right, ask me if I had.
Have you ever had to?
Brother, look, check this out. So, my girlfriend at the time, she was just like, it wasn't even that long. It was like 6 months in. Cute. And she was just like, look, I'm pregnant. And I was just like, how much? And she was just like, it costs like $385. I mentioned the rest of like $450 or some shit like that. And I didn't go. I just gave her the money and I was just like, handle that. And I didn't go. Now, I gave her the money. Of course, she said everything was resolved and we broke up. Now, what if she would have pocketed that money? What if what
you if been on more, you dude?
But see, like that's what I'm saying. Like this is one of those scenarios of I'm not trying to justify women having their abortion right took from them because it's their body. But we dudes, we pay the same fucking way in our own way. We pay. We guys, we pay. We pay. We pay. One way or another.
I agree.
So what I'm saying is the laws that they kind of imposed on men for the longest, they're now imposing on women. It's just your turn to catch that heat. It's fucked up.
I don't know, man. I think getting stuck with a kid, I think having to raise a kid, I think having a kid to deal with a kid is like heat. But,
Like what, Mom?
Well, but
no, talk your mind. I want to hear your opinion.
Well, I think one of the things, and this is something to go off about politically, because my thing is politics. One of the reasons this happened is because the movement was never able. It should be about medical privacy and bodily autonomy. That, okay, it should be the rights of anybody to make decisions about their body and about their health. And if the women's movement could have involved more men in that, because that affects everybody, man. They can go in and tell my doctor what to do. They can tell your doctor what to do.
Yep. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
So there's that, but I think being stuck with a kid is nothing. Women have always had to deal with that burden, and that's big. I think that's bigger than anything.
That's definitely big. But then, when you say the rights of women, have been altered, the rights of Black people have been so altered too. Like no one's rights are bulletproof no more.
Well, yeah, the rights of, again, of Black women, and of color, because
But what I'm saying, all I'm saying is with each day, no rights are bulletproof.
No,
all of the rights are getting altered and tainted, and it's just a weird time. I don't know what next week's hot seat will be about.
Well, there's equal cases. There's Black women and women of color that have been sterilized without their consent well into the 70s. And that's just documented. That happens to be what I've read documented. Sure, and I'm sure it's also, so, that's rights and autonomy and all of that. The fact people are able to get the medical care they want.
Okay, I got a question because I know both of you guys and I love you guys. I could go there. All right, so none of us have kids. Would you guys want kids right now? Have you ever thought of it are you missing out without having any kids? Or you're like, fuck it, I'm not having any kids. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, I haven't really tripped, man. I like you said, I've been so busy, dude. I haven't really tripped off of it that hard.
Do your parents ever give you that I don't want to be grandparents though, bro? Where's the baby Rose at?
Nah, man. They I'm not gonna lie, man. Everybody I know and my parents, it's like they see the way the world is now. It's not like it was kind of back then. It's like if you do, you do, you don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? It's they want me to, if I do, they want me to be with someone cool. They don't want me just to do something crazy just to have kids. So it's just not gonna happen like that.
Have a bum ass baby mama? Hell no. Fuck that. I'd rather jack my dick off.
I really wanted kids. I thought for years I would have kids. I'm from a big family. I've worked with kids. I've always done a lot of childcare. I've got kids. Yeah, I got godkids. And so, right up about till pretty much the end of when it was possible, I really thought I would have kids, but there was just too much other stuff going on in my life that prevented it. So that's why, in a way, now women are like, oh, I'm struggling with infertility. See, part of me feels like, I wanted kids and I didn't get to have them. And just because it wasn't, it's not like I want to be putting my issues out, but you know, I was like that.
Oh, speak your issues. This is your podcast. Speak on
it. Yeah. So part of me is like, I mean, I feel like one of the problems with us having so much money. Oh, I'm gonna have to get to sex in a minute. So much money is made off of fertility and all of that. And I think it's a problem because I think it means that so many people that like, okay, people spend years and so much money trying to have kids. And I feel like it's given this impression of, okay, I just kind of think it makes it more like torment because there is this idea of like, okay, I could do this if I spend all this money instead of like, well, you don't get to have everything you want. You know, I mean, I wanted to have kids and I didn't get to, and that's so, you know, that's one of the life has disappointments. So I feel like in a way it's just so, okay. Cause I was reading a book about, you know, by this writer about sex, and you know, she was talking about like sex research, and you know, when you think, okay, it's real hard for people to get money to research, scientists to research sex, which I mean, sex is important. They should be able to get money, but so what they do is say they find some way to pretend that it has to do with fertility because there's so much money attached to fertility. So you know, but that's what like another friend of mine who was lower income was, you know, went through the fertility thing or something. So she was at like a medical appointment and people were requested not to bring their children to the medical appointments because it would be so hard on the people that didn't have kids. And so she was saying that it was like, it was for her, it was real illuminating about communities that are normally going through this whole fertility thing. Cause she's like, yeah, I don't get everything I want. I'm from a poor family. So yeah.
Oh yes. And you know, I mean, I think I would have been a great father. I love the kids. I don't have any of my own biological kids, so it is what it is. But I'm definitely involved in a lot of kids' lives. I got a lot of kids under me, so I'm not big bro age, so it's all good. But then when you say, you know, being poor and bringing kids into this world today, you know, just having situations with people that would possibly bring you down, you know, you don't know this mate you're with their true intentions for about 6 months, bro. Like, you know, you don't know people flip, you know. So what I'm saying is, you know, right now this is a great time because porno is saving a lot of people's lives. Yeah. Beat your dick off, my niggas, and stay at home and stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do the next thing.
I'm sorry. But I was just
having you on. Hey, come on. Mehdi Hasan is so fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, I love you.
Gave me the idea to do some videos.
Yeah, that's all good.
I'm on it. So can we do the next one, Roselle?
Yeah. Thank you, Anna, for having me on your show.
Oh God, I love having you on this show. So here's some of Mehdi's greatest hits.
Anna's Global Podcast, y'all.
These things just took over
me. Would you kill the family of a terror suspect? Yes or no?
I would have to see what the circumstances of that situation was.
Are you kidding me?
I would have to see the circumstances of that situation.
What circumstances would justify the killing of a family, a wife and a child?
It would have to be the circumstances that we were facing at the time.
Do you agree with the fact that they ran that story about spying on the Taliban?
Again, I don't think it's my place to criticize the decisions of the journalists and the newspapers who are making these decisions. I am not the journalist. That's not my role.
Do you support a Palestinian state?
You're not listening.
I am listening. I've been waiting patiently.
You're not listening.
I've been waiting patiently.
This is
Do you
the
support
policy
a
of my
Palestinian
government,
state?
as I said before.
Do you, the foreign minister, does Zippy Hotovely support a Palestinian state?
Mehdi, you're not. Mehdi, it's so simple.
It is simple. Do you support a
I'm answering
Palestinian
in
state?
the very clear voice. I'm representing the policy of my government.
And what about
very
you?
simple.
What about you? Do you support a Palestinian state?
You can ask that 10 times again, and I'm going to answer you again. I'm representing the policy of my prime minister.
Why are you okay with an elected government in Syria, but not an elected government in Saudi Arabia? If the people of Syria get to choose their own rulers or head of state, why can't the people of Saudi Arabia choose their own head of state?
Go and ask the people of Saudi Arabia, are you happy with your... Of course you can.
No, it's illegal in Saudi Arabia to call for a change in the government, to call for the king to come
I didn't say go and call for a change of government. Okay. I said go and call and ask the Saudi people whether they are happy with their system of government.
How do I do that? What's the process?
In any way you want. In any way you want. Opinion polls, anything.
What about an election?
And you will find, well, we will have elections at some point of time.
Hezbollah is a foreign force on the ground in Syria. Does Iran support that force?
As I mentioned, we support the expulsion of terrorists, of terrorist groups.
Is Hezbollah on the ground in Syria supported by Iran?
People of Syria,
very simple, Madam Vice President. Yes or no?
Only the people of Syria have the right to decide.
In 1993, you said they were 8 to 10 years away from having nuclear weapons. You were wrong, were you not?
Well, I want to see my quote. I
can read to you. I brought it with me just in case.
Ahead.
You said Iran is pursuing the acquisition of nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Iran probably will take would say.
Well, I would say that we've decimated the Al-Qaeda network.
At what cost?
Look, obviously, this is a controversial issue around the world.
Are you still of the view that Al-Qaeda is more of a myth than a reality? It's what you said last year. You also said you weren't even sure that they existed. Really?
Exactly, that's my view today as well.
That Al-Qaeda is a myth?
It is for me a myth. I have never had a report from any Afghan source on the Al-Qaeda or what they were doing.
The President of the United States says that's torture. Do you think that's torture?
The current President of the United
Yes.
States says that's torture.
Yes.
Right. The Attorney General at the time, and actually a total of 3 Attorneys General, said it wasn't torture.
Do you think it's torture?
Well, I have not been forced to make that decision. What I have done is reflect the legal opinion that was extant at the time these decisions were made.
Yes. And do you think it's torture?
You
have no view?
Mehdi, you're the nth person to ask me that.
That doesn't change the reality that you're avoiding a very simple answer.
And I'm not giving an answer.
If President Assad waterboards Syrian rebels, you will not call that torture?
Oh, that's completely different.
Why? So if America does it, it's fine, but if Syria does it, it's bad.
Let me answer the question, all right? If President Assad did it according to the rules that CIA used.
Kenya's National Commission on Human Rights said in 2014 a huge police crackdown on suspected terrorists.
Actually,
hold on. Let me finish the point.
Interview them because honestly, they haven't talked to me.
They said
I haven't
if they don't speak to the foreign minister, their report doesn't count.
I haven't seen the report. I haven't had any of my cabinet colleagues tell me that they have spoken to anybody in cabinet.
Arbitrary arrests, extortion, theft, sexual harassment.
Well,
it's all false.
Sorry, I don't care whether it's false or true. They have not talked to anybody.
You're the foreign minister.
No. They haven't talked to anybody.
Ultimately, they are a vicious group that kill civilians, and people like yourself, the critics say, don't condemn them enough.
This is absolute nonsense. It's just not true. All you have to do is look at my statements for the past 10 years. Every bomb attack any human being would condemn where innocents are being killed.
Do you consider the Taliban to be a terrorist group?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
The UN Human Rights Committee found that Australia, on your watch, had breached the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights by detaining refugees arbitrarily and indefinitely.
Well,
pretty strong stuff.
I would dispute a number of those things.
The Amnesty's wrong, the UN Human Rights Committee's wrong.
We're talking about past history.
Would you accept a position in a Donald Trump administration? Defense Secretary, Homeland Security?
Not after this conversation.
Man, be shredding them, boy. Whew.
Would you kill the family of a terror suspect? Yes or no?
Whoa.
Man, that looks crazy.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, duh, like, you got balls to be making the video.
Yeah. What the guy said that he was like, he knew where he was gonna hide, but he was staying out there for an extra minute to get it, and that with where he was, he kind of wasn't able to get away. But yeah, instead of like jumping under that rock right away, he just wanted to stay out and like get a little picture. And his Instagram has, like, God only knows, much more people. But yeah, man, Mehdi shreds people. He is so fucking good.
He's really good, but like, man, like, he's intense. He's definitely intense.
Yeah. I got a couple more of him.
What I don't ever understand is how come they can just not answer the straight questions, like the yes or no questions. That it's just like you can't beat around the bush, but they don't want to answer it, even when it's quotes that they actually said.
Yeah.
It's trippy how politicians do that.
Yeah. Sometimes though, I mean, I did some other, like, he got, but what he got, what's his face, Michael Flynn, to say, I mean, yeah, he's gotten people to admit to stuff before, but yeah, you can just do that.
I mean, if you're a journalist, a good journalist, and you go do the back history and put two and two together before you get your guest, anybody could like really break down your guest. Like, you ever see Nardwuar do that with rappers? Like, he'll, like, when he interviews a rapper, he'll have so much back knowledge on the rapper. The rapper is like, how did you know that? Like, so it's, and even Noriega on Drink Champs, he gets praised for knowing a lot of information on his guests. So all you gotta do is kind of like, I mean, man, but your man, he's just, he's shredding them, boy. That's.
I have a couple. Yeah, can we play some more?
Yeah, sure can.
Yeah. That's not him. Do the next one.
Oh, you don't want to do this one?
Oh yeah, do that one. It's good. Yeah.
Has reached a conclusion.
My dear,
Is it possible then that you will say sorry in the future after the commission you're talking about in Zimbabwe has reached a conclusion?
My dear, my people and myself are determined to make sure that the commissions of the past, the commission or the acts of commission, acts of omission or commission in the past, we have to interrogate them. Where the government of the day was wrong, we point out that that was wrong. Where the government of the day was correct, we should say so. And we have put up a machinery to achieve that. I don't know what your problem is, but this is how I'm dealing with the situation.
Okay. Let's talk about the political process of the future and the political process of the future. Elections are due to take place before September this year. Will they take place in that time frame?
See, she nailed him, but
I
it
don't know
comes
who
across
gave you
less clearly.
month of September.
But the next one's Medi, and it's
In my own view, we want to consolidate and deepen constitutionalism in Zimbabwe.
okay. So the next
Let
one.
this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth, and never need a dentist again.
Okay, is it possible then that you will say sorry?
That one. Oh no, it's
Lambert Mende, thanks for joining me
This-
on Upfront.
this is
Your
supposed to be
boss,
queued
Joseph
up,
Kabila,
bro.
has been president of the Democratic Republic
This
of
is
Congo
way-
for 17 years, and you've had presidential
Yeah, this is the
elections in your
beginning.
country delayed.
Yeah,
for
can you
nearly
put it
2
like a
years
minute
now.
13?
Is he ever going to
Okay.
give up power? And
I think you have heard about this terrorist offensive we had to face in North Kivu province, where even soldiers from UN died. You have already understood about what happened in Kasai with the Kamwina Sampo terrorist offensive. All these didn't make it easy. It jeopardized the
So
whole
that's the reason?
exercises.
You haven't had
Yes.
elections?
Of course, you can't.
Because in previous interviews, you and your president have said the reason for no elections was the Electoral Commission, the Electoral Register, getting technical problems. Now you're switching and saying it's security. It seems to be you're looking for any excuse.
Security is a big issue. You can't organize elections where they are killing those people of the Electoral Commission. It is impossible. We had the problem of...
Anna, do you want me to go to 13 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like, oh, whoa, no, wait a minute. It like oh shit, like 8 minutes, I guess, in 8 minutes in, please.
Right here?
Yeah, yeah, right about there. Yeah.
Country who has compared life in Congo to living in an open prison.
We have
That's a devastating
no problem
description.
with the Catholic Church in Congo. Let me tell you.
They have a problem
the
with
truth.
you, it looks like.
We have problem with some prominent clergymen who are acting as politicians.
How about the head of the Catholic Church?
No, the Catholic Church does not have a head.
This is what he says. How can you
Any
kill?
diocese have its own
How
authority.
can you kill men, women, children, youths, and old people all chanting religious songs? This is what he says. Are we now living in an open prison?
I'm sorry.
Are we now living in an open prison?
Nobody were killed during demonstration.
Cardinal Laurel Masonga
Of
says,
course.
are we now living in an open prison? It's a very simple question.
It is the clergyman who is acting as a politician who said so, but not the Catholic Church.
Okay, so
and he was disowned by many other bishops.
Okay.
Under the Catholic
So you just
Church.
dismissed the bishop as well?
Him, we dismiss him.
Why? Because he doesn't like your business relationship with China?
He's a politician.
Okay. Do you fear your Congolese opponents? Is that why you don't let them protest freely?
Do you think that there is any country in this Central Africa, this part of the continent, where people can demonstrate freely as in the Democratic Republic of Congo? Give me a single
where hundreds
country.
of people are being shot dead?
100 people?
6 people were shot dead in January 2018.
6 is not 100.
Let's just do the maths then,
Yes.
since you're challenging numbers. I love a few
Yes.
facts. In December 2016, 62 people killed.
No.
In August 2017, 27 people
Lie,
killed.
lie.
That's 89.
Lie.
Let's add on the 7 in December.
Without names?
That's 96. Let's
Without
add on the 6 in
identities?
January. That's 102
Without
dead.
identity, just-
102 dead.
just the
And you're just
figures.
dismissing your fellow Congolese.
Just the figures.
You don't seem to care.
Where is the names?
Why don't you read the reports by Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, Reuters?
People can be influenced and they write reports.
It's impossible to have a conversation with you because
They
when I give
can
you a
write
fact,
fake
you
reports.
dismiss it.
They can write fake
It's
reports.
fake news. You're borrowing President Trump's phrase.
They can
Okay.
write fake reports. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
How many have you killed?
There have been confrontation between terrorist elements.
You call them terrorists.
And our soldiers.
No one agrees with you.
No.
By
In
the way.
Kananga.
No
Not
one
in
agrees
Kinshasa.
with you.
Not in Kinshasa.
How many people have been killed,
Demonstration. Nobody were killed during the demonstration.
How many were killed?
Five terrorists were killed.
Since December
while
2016, how many people have been killed in protest?
Not even 10.
Really?
Not even 10.
So when
we have court martial, the soldiers who have killed people without out of the combat
The problem
operations.
is, you keep saying the facts are fake, information that your government is actually trying to control information. You shut down the internet. You prevent people from texting. Sounds like you're very worried about free protests.
You will not find a country where freedom of speech, freedom of expression more than Congo.
With respect, this is just
Black
nonsense.
Africa.
You're
you
just,
will not find.
You're just
Give
saying,
me a single
You're just
name.
making nonsensical statements.
Give me a single
You're the
name of a
freest country in
I'm asking
Africa. Are you the freest country in Africa?
Give me a single name of a country. You are not
With
able.
respect, you're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you. Who is?
There is
I'm
not
asking
a single
question.
country.
Are you
in Black
saying that your
Africa.
country is
Yes.
has the freest speech in Black Africa, to use your phrase?
Yes.
So why did the
South
EU
Africa.
sanction you, you're the Minister of Communications, for a, quote, repressive media policy
Because of China.
that undermines the election process? You're
Because
now
of
banned from
China.
traveling to the EU. You're banned.
This is lobby from
personally.
Belgium, I know very well.
Okay. So
this is because of China, I know very well.
And why did the US
Because of
government
China.
sanction officials in
I'm not sanctioned by US.
But
I'm
your
in the
colleagues
US.
are. Your colleagues are.
No minister was
Both
sanctioned.
the US and the EU have sanctioned members
no.
of your government, but apparently you're the freest government in, quote, Black Africa.
No.
I mean, this is why some of your statements are rather nonsensical.
We challenge that measures. We are challenging that measures.
Okay,
Because,
you're challenging them. But
yes,
right now you're
we are
sanctioned by the EU.
We have a problem with a country called Belgium.
Okay, but the US government says you're corrupt and prey on your citizens.
Maybe they are influenced by Belgium.
Okay,
Why
wow,
not?
Belgium is a
Why
superpower
not?
these days.
No,
isn't it?
no,
They can
superpower.
change the Trump administration's view
No,
on
they are
Africa.
making a lobby.
Here's
Why
what I
not?
don't get. The US government, the EU, the Belgian government, the
I
French
didn't
government,
say no,
the Human
I'm
Rights Watch.
speaking of Belgium.
I'm not.
Don't extend to others.
I'm talking. I'm quoting the U.S.
That is
government.
you.
Okay, me. I'm quoting the U.S. government, the French government, the EU, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, NYU, the UN, the cardinals in the Catholic Church. You've dismissed them all.
No.
You've
Catholic
dismissed
Church
them.
is not.
Okay, one cardinal that you don't like in the Catholic Church, a very senior
bishop,
cardinal.
yes,
Okay,
that is
you've
the truth.
dismissed all these people, which is your right. But what I don't get is why pretend that you're a democracy when no one thinks you are? Why not just say, you know what? We don't care what anyone thinks of us.
Democracy.
We don't care.
We are a
Why
democracy.
pretend? Why go
but
through this
we are
charade
a free people.
where you say you're the freest country in Africa?
Yes, we are a democracy, but we are free to interact with who we want. And when we decided to interact with China, we got problems with Belgium because they are the former colonizer and they wanted us to remain in partnership with them.
So my question is,
yes?
when all of this criticism from the international community is coming at you, why not just say we don't care? Why pretend that you're a democracy when no one thinks you are?
We are a democracy because we are. It is a matter of a fact. It is not a matter of
We have
opinion.
a president who
it is not a matter of opinion of others.
That's how this interview began.
It is a matter of fact, my dear. It is not a matter of somebody saying you are a Democrat, so you are a Democrat. It is a matter of fact. Are we acting as Democrat? If yes, we are Democrat. Even if you don't think that we are Democrat, if factually we act as Democrat, we are Democrat indeed.
Lambert Mende, thank you for joining me on Up Front.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, that was deep right there.
Isn't that? Yeah.
Stop it for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Jeez, my man.
That was deep. Now, I got a question for you, though, on this one, Anna.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think he had enough proof on this one. It was kind of like he was just saying something he read. So I don't know how true.
Well, those were reports from Amnesty International and from Human Rights Watch. I mean, it's not like he can go see it himself. I mean, it's reports from respected human rights organizations who do go to those places and talk to people, the United Nations. So, I can say that's enough proof.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That was really good though.
Yeah.
Heated conversations. Hopefully, and it's something. I mean, it seems like it gets so heated. Does anything get resolved?
Again, well, this was a show called. He had a show called Up Front and a show called Head to Head. So the point was to engage with people like that guy. I mean, a lot of journalists won't even speak to people like him or can't. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what he does. He doesn't like now he's in the US, and I was pleased that he went to the US because he's so fucking smart, but it's not as much fun for me to watch him now because it's stuff I know about. Yeah, I mean I've talked about things I've learned from Mehdi a lot on the show over the years. I talked about this in this interview after I watched it the first time in 2018. But yeah, I mean, I think he, yeah, it's a very good question. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I think he certainly has people on that are a lot less heated than that. But the thing about Mehdi is that every single fucking time he puts out his hands, he always shakes hands and thanks them after they've been on the show.
After he just railed them a new one, that's crazy. I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't know, like that's type of journalism. I mean, that's what people do. People want to know.
I think he's always respectful. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. Do you think you don't think he's disrespectful, do you?
I don't think he's disrespectful, but I think that the whoever is on the opposite side of him, you just know you're going to get bombarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
not going to make it comfortable. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the perks of doing an interview with him must be hell of a good look. Because, geez.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why someone would want to make that a regular, unless that's just the place to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's very, very few, like, I think I've seen that guy on Al Jazeera one other time. They will hardly talk to anyone. And I think it's because, I mean, he worked for Al Jazeera at the time. And I think some of the people like that were more willing to talk to Al Jazeera.
Well, I mean, if you get on any topic you're really passionate about, you have an opportunity to interview somebody really in depth, you would do it. I mean, we were kind of like that with Killer Priest when we had him on our duck soup. We were kind of like drilling them on some wild shit.
Yeah.
Just he's here. So like, was he disrespectful? He wasn't disrespectful, but he was a bit much though. But that's what people want.
Yeah, I think they know when they go on the show what they're getting themselves into. So
yeah,
I think most of them, I think they try to go on there to try to I think they try to save their name a little bit just to get, whatever questions is out so they can try to make themselves, save their name or whatever's going on with them. But I think if you go on his show, it's almost like going on Maury Povich. You know what you're going on with, what's going to come with it. So
going to Eric Andre and like fucking snakes and snails and wild shit happening, naked people running across the stage. It's all crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing, he's hard on everyone. That's the thing, because like when he has Israelis on, they're always shrieking about like, why didn't you ask the Palestinians? This is like, he does. He's hard on everyone that comes on his show. So that's what I like. That's what I like about him. I mean, he has opinions, but I mean, he has facts. He really knows his history. I learn a lot. I've learned a lot from him.
But when you have the facts, you could like clown. I mean, when you have the facts, no matter the facts will always be the facts.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so Mama, look, and I got to dip because I'm gonna try and go get some food before this place closes down.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Wait. What place you hitting up? Where you going?
Trying to go to Safeway real quick. They close at like 10:30, 11.
Gotcha. You about to cook something? What you making?
I think we'll just have like a bowl of cereal and some popcorn or something. It's too late for like something heavy.
Gotcha. I remember seeing a long time ago, you know how to make fried chicken. I was like, is he gonna make fried chicken today?
Yeah. I know how to cook. Bro, I know how to cook. Shit. On that same note, Adrian H. got Facebook. Love you guys. Instagram. Adrian H. got
YouTube. You got a YouTube page?
The Age page. Check it out. The Age page. Miro got on the show. Miro Christ. Ugly Sundays happening ASAP.
Yeah, Mutiny Radio, y'all.
What up, Najee? What up, Andre? What up, AKA the whole squad?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Coming on, Age. Always a pleasure.
See you in a minute, bro. Holla at your boy, bro. Peace.
Age Scott, everybody. The one and only. Yeah. Yeah. So that was, he had a good idea. Because I thought that we wouldn't be able to play this whole time, that we couldn't do the videos because of being on Facebook. But
no, I mean, it depends. Like news would probably be okay.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's like copyright more stuff like music and stuff like that is what they trip off of. So like stuff like this, everybody can see it's public. So it shouldn't be no problem.
Shouldn't be. Yeah. 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 The one, some of it's see, okay, so the guy that was being interviewed with the scarf, that was the crocodile, Emerson Mnangagwa.
That was the one that was the one before the last one.
Yeah, the one that
the shortest, it was like a minute.
Yeah, it was like a minute. It was the woman and the guy with the scarf, and see, that's something you kind of need to watch the whole interview for that one, because she was pressing him about human rights and really pressing him, and he was being all sunshiny. And then you could so that was just the last bit. So if you hadn't seen him before, you wouldn't realize how drastic the switch was. He's like, he's like, my dear. I was like, ooh, I'm glad I'm not doing that interview.
Yeah, man, them dudes. Yeah, those are the worst kind. I just don't know, man. The last guy, I'd have to check that out in person. That something kind of struck me there. I don't know, because I sometimes do believe some countries get shafted for certain reasons. I don't know how, what the details are, but I kind of felt something like this dude might be kind of telling the truth, and they might be inflating the numbers to make it look bad. You don't think so?
I know so. I mean, this is new. I talked about this interview in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
It was like he kept saying like say names of the people who died, and he couldn't say names. I mean,
well,
I would have liked to see him say some names and see if they could have found like.
That's what I mean, when you're talking about like 100 some people, you don't. I mean, like when you're looking at like his information, like Human Rights Watch and all of them. I mean, when you're putting a report together, you don't, for something like that, you don't put all the names of the 100 people. They'd be elsewhere. So, and that, like when he was like there's another one I have queued up when he was talking about Palestinians getting thrown out of their homes. The Israeli official he's talking to was like, give me names. I mean, that's what they do. So, I mean, he could have come up with a couple names, but when you're talking, I mean, if they're going to say that like, 100 some people, if they're going to say all those are lies, then it's just going to be like, okay, you can say the name. He's just going to say like, oh, who's that? I've never heard of him. So that's always what they say. So I mean the information about Congo is out there, and when you're talking like Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, the United Nations, I mean these people, they are no joke, and a lot of them, they put themselves in danger going to get this information. And, I mean, partially they don't have these human rights organizations. They don't really have anything to gain. They don't have much to gain by lying. I mean, what do you think they would gain by lying?
I don't think nothing, but I do know in certain situations, like if you do kind of bash a country, it makes them look bad. So if it was, let's just say someone wanted to try to take that country, it doesn't look as bad.
But these are just organizations. These are NGOs. These are non-governmental organizations. They're international organizations.
And I get that. I mean, that may be true, but I can see where you can kind of manipulate something to make it look bad, and then let's just say you wanted to take over the country for whatever reason, maybe they got some stuff you want. If you make them look bad, then you go to war with that country. It doesn't look as bad in a whole because you think, it's being portrayed as a bad country.
Well, yeah, and if you're talking, and when you're talking to government officials, then yeah, you do need to look at that. But when you're just looking at non-governmental organizations, and they do this all over the world. I mean, Amnesty International reports on the United States too. They report on racism in the United States, and they report on environmental racism. And so when you're talking about a worldwide organization for whom that's what they do, that's what they're dedicated to, they just, I think, like have less reason to do it. I mean, they, and if you're, so yeah, I mean, I do find it credible. And then but yeah, you should watch the whole interview. You should, I mean, it's not that long. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going by just that. I mean, I've been following Congo for years. We've been talking about it on the show for years. I mean, we've been talking about it since we started the show, because it's always been a place I'm really interested in. So, but yeah, that was a blast. I don't know if he's still in office, but it's real hard. I mean, a lot of, I mean, these guys are tough. A lot of journalists would just get mowed down. I mean, Mehdi thinks fast, and he, I mean, especially he is great with his rate. I mean, like with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, I mean, there's so much history there. And, in my opinion, the Israelis especially always like to bring, I think they're the champions of like, well, they did this in 1972, and Mehdi knows what they're talking about and come back with an answer. So, I mean, he's definitely somebody I like just try and learn from. So, yeah, that was awesome.
Very good. Yep, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're definitely onto this, and hopefully we'll have Verlania back on, because it just does, people need.
Yeah, she left a message. I guess she said something about her Zoom or something. So
yeah, we'll have to try and figure it out before next time. So yeah, so you got your show coming up Sunday?
Sunday? What's Sunday?
Mutiny Radio?
Oh, Mutiny. Yes, Mutiny Radio.
Very cool.
Yes, definitely.
Very cool.
4 to 6, y'all. Check out Mutiny Radio.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, okay, well, we'll be back next Tuesday, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much to Scott, to Verlania.
What up, Scott? Belania. Age Scott.
Age Scott, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty good show.
Sure is. Okay.
All right, y'all.